Hey everyone, Irit here with a new process video for HipKit Club. This is the first layout I created with the July kits. I know, it's crazy. And I printed out a bunch of photos that I'm hoping to scrap with this month's or last month's kit. And yeah, I'm going to end up, I thought about using these three, but I end up using these three in two separate layouts. So Lily's photos in one layout and then Ella's photos in the one that I'll be showing you today. So I am trying to get familiarized with the kit, and also, yeah, so the first step that I like to do for that is to kind of go through, audition pattern papers behind my photos and see which one I like behind it. And that usually is a good place for me to start. It usually limits my choices because most of the time I will like 2 or 3 papers more than the other papers in the kit. And that usually gives me a starting color scheme. And that's really my process over and over again, and that's how it starts for me. I usually start with more of a limited color scheme. In this case, it will be yellows and black and white and some blue, and then in the embellishment stage, I tend to add more colors because I love colors, and there are just a lot of really pretty goodies in the kit. So you can see I already messed it up a bit. I'm using the circle cutter. I always get questions about it. I found it at a local store here in Austria. It's called Chibo, and it just has a very, I don't know, I would say kind of random selection of stuff at any given time. You know, a few clothes, a few things for crafting, a few household items. Yeah, very, very random. And this I picked up years ago. It's not available in that store anymore. So I know similar things exist. You can just, use something like a plate and trace a circle, or use an electronic die cutting machine if you have, to create the same effect. Circles are pretty easy to cut. A lot of the times I also just, freehand cut them all wonky. I like that too. So I kind of messed it up. Basically, I wanted 2 circles of this pattern, but since this is the paper, like one of my most favorite papers from the kit, I didn't want to pull out my second sheet and, fix it. So I'm going to end up covering that gap between the two with some embellishments, even though I don't think it looks bad. Probably if I had placed the photo kind of where it just was, more on the left side, it would have been nice. But since I'm placing it kind of on top of that gap, then the bit of it that is white just looks a bit weird to me. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't. That also looks nice. I should also try that. I don't think I've done a lot of that orientation. I meant just now when Ella's photo was on top and then the 2 from Lily were below it. That also looks kind of cute. I do like to include more than one photo on my layouts. It's just that these days I really find myself, I take one picture. If I like it, I stop taking photos. So many times I don't have multiple photos from the same, day or event, just because I prefer to, take the photo, document, and then enjoy the time and not continue to search for that perfect photo. So here was a perfect moment. We were in the public pool in the village next to us, and the girls were just eating ice cream. And yeah, so I just clicked a few photos with my phone. I'm always kind of scared to have my phone with me when there are big bodies of water around, because I'm scared that I'll drop it there. So now, because as I said, I'm not that familiar with the kits, you'll see me kind of unpacking all kinds of stuff as I go through this. I'm trying to find things that I like with this. And pretty fast I decided that I'm not going to use the, what is this, Simple Stories, the chipboard sheet in this layout. I will, however, heavily use it in my next one. So if you're interested in that particular sheet of chipboard, which is fantastic, I love, you know, it's like summer colors, bright colors, totally my thing. And the next layout is going to be mostly embellished with that, because I just felt it coordinated really well with Lily's photos, because they had also these pops of red. Her dress was red, and here I wanted to focus more on the yellow and black and white embellishments from all the goodies that we got in the kit. So I'm just going through the stuff, picking out things that I think I will use, again following my more limited color scheme at the moment for the most part. And this is, I just, you know, if you are the type of person that kind of struggles to get things going, you're not sure what to do next, then I think this might be really helpful for you if you try to follow the same steps as I do. And I also know that a lot of people don't get all the kits, which, you know, actually makes it easier to choose what you want to use because you have less choice. And yeah, so I start with picking out 2, maximum 3 papers that I want to use, and then I base my embellishment selection on the colors in those papers. You know, because it's a kit, or if you're working in from a collection, everything coordinates. It's very easy to find the same colors. If you're working from your stash, then it's also, you know, just go through some embellishments and take out a few that work with your color scheme. And usually it's best to stop after you have, you know, a nice pile, a good place to start from. Don't go on until you've gone through every single embellishment, because it'll probably be overwhelming. It'll take you too much time, and unless you like your pages extremely embellished, you'll just have too much stuff. So you can always go back and look for something more, and that usually is when you're looking for something specific, then usually it becomes easier and more you know, focused, that search. If you're thinking, okay, now I want something round to go here, then you can go and look for a round yellow embellishments, for example. So that's what works for me. And I was playing around, and then I thought, okay, this floral piece would be a good thing to add to cover that weird gap. It is quite colorful, but that will give me some options for accent colors if I choose to use them. And yeah, I will add another floral at the bottom. So as usual, when I start working with a new kit, there is a lot of moving stuff around, looking through things. The first layout tends to be the one that takes me the longest, and you'll also see next week when I post my second layout, which I already made. I made the 2 in the same day, like one right after the other. It took like a third of the time, maybe, if not less. So this one probably took me about an hour, which is a bit longer than my average these days. And then the next one was really fast. I have a different strategy for that one, which I'll talk about in that video. So yeah, that's, I just, you know, the more you scrapbook, the more you kind of perfect and improve your process, I find, especially if you don't mind repeating certain things. That's, for me, that's one of the great things about working with a kit or different collections, because you can kind of repeat a lot of the same principles and a lot of the same designs, but if the products change, then your layouts will end up looking differently, and from each other, I mean. And yeah, I need that variety, but I don't want to reinvent the wheel every single time I sit down and scrap. So I really appreciate just getting, you know, curated kits. For the most, some months look a bit similar to previous months because they have the same collection. So there are some similarities in, you know, some collections from June and July. And So that's, you know, it's a good thing because it means I can pull some of the embellishments or supplies that I didn't get to use in the previous month. And then August is completely different. So I'll still get that change of pace. And yeah, it's, you know, I need those, I need kind of new, fresh things to keep me inspired. But I do say I also enjoy going back to my stash and using that, kind of rediscovering old favorites. So that's me moving things around. A few things did happen here, which I didn't talk about. So bad me, but we can go into it now. I added some layers behind my photo. I felt like it definitely needed some detail because it is placed on papers that are not crazy busy, but, you know, patterned. And those big patterns are quite dramatic, I would say. So I added one layer behind my photo was from one of the Project Life 4x6 cards, and then the next layer was actually some of the packaging from one of the embellishment, like one of the ephemera packs. The Hip Kit Club packaging is always with a simple, pretty pattern that coordinates with the kit, and this month it's a kind of a stripe, a blue and white stripe, which you probably saw before in the video. And then I added a couple of frames. I added them to the top and the bottom of the photo. I cut them in half, and you can't really tell that they are frames. They just look like rounded pieces of paper, which in this case, that's what I was going for. And a couple of tabs. I love that that little tab with a flower, and I used that for my date. And then another tab, I felt that it needed something else there. And I used a roller stamp from, I think it's a Vicky Boutin one that we got in a previous kit. And I stamped, "Love this." So my title is going to be something sweet. I wanted to go for one of these ready-made titles, kind of, because, again, it's placed on a busy background with all those patterns. And if I wanted to use letter stickers, I could, but if I wanted to use letter stickers, I would have put them on the edges going around my circle pattern, which you'll see me do with kind of like a mini title later in the process. So I'm going to do that on the bottom circle. But if that's what you want to use and you're using something like a similar design with circles of pattern paper, then it's a good way to add your title. Just go around the circle, and then you have, the guideline of the shape that makes it easier to place it. And especially if you're using white cardstock like I did here, then your title will be on white cardstock, so that will really help the colors pop. And yeah, you'll see me doing a little mini title later on. So adding embellishments. This was really, really fun going through the kit, adding more and more embellishments, adding some circle ephemera, a couple of those cute clouds. And I'm also trying, at the same time as I'm building my embellishments on the top next to the photo, I'm also trying to build a little cluster at the bottom, adding some pieces, trying to repeat shapes, colors, textures, the usual. So if you're stuck, you don't know what to do. You have, for example, one embellishment cluster with a few things going on, and then you're trying to build the next one. Look at what you have going in the first one you made and try and find similar or repeating elements and add that to your other cluster. So that's just a good rule to follow. And there's just like so many cute things here. So I'm going to add like a few hearts and that ice cream. There are a couple of embellishments which I'm waiting for that perfect layout, which I know is always a mistake. But no, I had so much going on here. There wasn't a good place for them. But there are these acrylic ice creams that we got with like a wood veneer cone, and then the scoop of the ice cream is like this colored acrylic. They're so pretty. I show them in the in the unboxing of the kits. So if you haven't seen that and you want to know everything that comes in this kit, I highly recommend it. Also, in my first 2 layouts, I didn't use any of the inks that we got in the color kit from Pink Fresh Studio. But since making those 2, I have used them. I hope that I'll be pleased enough with my background that I created, pleased enough with it to use it on a layout. But I have played with them, and they're beautiful. They are, you know, I would say kind of standard because they're similar to similar products. I'm talking about the watercolor, the liquid watercolors. They are very, very vibrant and yeah, kind of easy to work with, but you do need some sort of palette unless you're just dropping your watercolor directly from the dropper in the bottle to your project, which of course you can also do. But for the most part, if you want to use it like with a brush, you have to pour some of the paint into a palette and then use it. But they are vibrant, easy to work with. You know, if you're used to working with liquid watercolors, then you will definitely enjoy these. The 3 colors that we got are all beautiful. It was the yellow, the orange, and a kind of a teal color. Yeah, I would say. And they are, all 3 of them are beautiful. I do need a pink. So for the background that I created using them, I did grab a pink from my stash because I need pink. What can I say? Especially with yellow, like pink and yellow and orange. Those go together. So yeah. And working on that little cluster there. So trying to fit things in, I want to repeat the cloud that I have at the top. I want to repeat a circular element that I also have at the top. So I'm trying to see how they work. And this I like. So that's going to go down. And yeah, this part, you know, it takes me some time, but I find it really, really enjoyable. And we're getting close to the finish line. So I think the August kit, this layout will go live on the 5th of August. I think the August kits are soon shipping. And yeah, I just started with my July kit, so I'm fine with that. For me personally, August is going to be very, very family filled. My parents are coming to visit me in a few days, and they're going to stay here for a few days. And then Lily goes on her summer vacation, so I won't have my mornings to scrap and art and do all that, but it's all good. I'm happy to have the privilege of, you know, staying home with her. I know, like other families that I know here in Austria, where both parents work, you know, in a traditional job, like not self-employed, many times they can't take vacation together because the kids get such long vacations that people don't have enough vacation days to be able to take their vacations together. And yeah, I just, you know, I really didn't want that. So, and still, mostly like the average here is so much more vacation days than in the US, for example. But yeah, and Lily has 3 weeks off. So for many people, that's, you know, most of their yearly vacation anyway. But I'm happy to be able to just take that time, enjoy my time with her. And yeah, that's it. So, oh, now you see me adding my little mini title there. It just says summertime, and I used the little alphas that came in the Project Life kit, which those are fantastic. They come in 4 different colors. I love the size, and I like with small alphas, I rather have tile stickers when they're, you know, just regular like cardstock weight stickers, or these rubber puffy type, which are easy to take off the sheet and manipulate and stick on. I really don't like the cardstock weight stickers, small alphas that are just, you know, that are not tiled, because I don't have the patience. to deal with those. They get torn and they're so small, but these are just fantastic. So these are exactly to my liking. I love the detail of a small alpha, but I can't be bothered to deal with it if it's too, annoying. So time for finishing touches, adding some flowers here and there, some butterflies, a couple of those lemons. This was just so much fun, and you can see how the detail gradually builds, and adding a few more pieces, starting from the basic pieces in the embellishment cluster and then adding more and more and more because it's just so much fun. So here's my finished layout, and here are some close-up shots. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you a wonderful day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.